The second section here, I'm gonna hit the home page here, is we can look at featured measures. And this section is, you've got the first thing that I want to point out here is that we've enhanced this, that it not only contains a list of featured measures that you can select, but now there's a drop down here where you can look at featured measures, which are anything you care about and want to have conveniently available on the home page, and we'll show how easy it is to add or remove measures from that. But you can also have measures I own. These are the things where I'm responsible for the performance, and I want to know, how are we doing? And maybe somebody else needs to update that data, and I want to see if they've updated it. And then the third is measures I maintain. These are measures where I'm designated as the person to update the data. And there's other people who can update the data, but we really recommend that for each measure you set up a data maintainer who's the person who should be updating it, and we want to make it really convenient for them to be able to do that. And we'll come back and look at these later, but I want to just start off focusing on featured measures. So the next feature that we want to focus on, in this case it's in featured measures, is the use of prefixes. This is something that we developed in the application because there are many different types of measures and for many different geographies or programs or partners, and oftentimes those measures might have similar names or similar functionality. And in this case, we're looking at, you might be looking at a measure that is for your scorecard, or you might be looking at a measure that is for a particular program like women, infants, and children. And different programs may have similar measures, but you can show the prefix where it's relevant. So you know this is from Babies Can't Wait. It's their number of active community partnerships. You may have another program that has a different prefix, and you'd be able to differentiate that. But you don't have to put the name of the program in the measure name. So if you're looking at a scorecard that's all about women, infants, and children, you know that the number of clients that there is for women, infants, and children, and so you don't have to have the extra clutter. So the ability to have the prefix separate from the measure, it really can simplify your naming conventions, but still be able to see what's what. And so that's an important for both having a clean display and the flexibility. So the next feature, we'll call this feature number 5, is this display where we show a combination of multiple time periods with colors and with an arrow. And so here we're looking and able to see different things like the prior value and the current value side by side, so you can see if it's changed. Like this one went from red to yellow. Red is bad, yellow is concerning, you haven't hit your target yet, but you can quickly see that, and this one went from green to yellow, so that's not as good. This one went from red to green, so it was a significant improvement. So it's nice to be able to see which of these things are changing without even having to look at the numbers or knowing, is 9 a good number or a bad number? The color, the change, help you see that. Also, you can see here that there's an arrow with a color and a number next to it. And this we consider like a winning streak or a losing streak. And you can see, is it moving in a good direction or a bad direction for how many consecutive periods? And sometimes going up is good, other times going up is bad. In this case, going up is good, and it's gone up for 2 consecutive periods. In this case, we're looking at fiscal year. So we call that the color. It shows the polarity, is going up good or is going up bad. And in different measures, you have different cases of that. I'm gonna log out here, and I'm gonna log back in as Julie. And because I've built the demo around her. Okay, so here we can see different measures that have gone up or gone down and whether that's good or bad. In this case, this one is yellow, so it's not quite hitting the target, but this tells me it's gone up for 5 consecutive periods. And that's a good thing. So I can feel great that it's moving in the right direction. On the other hand, this one is green. So if I just saw the green at 91%, I might think everything's okay. But here we see it's gone down for 4 consecutive periods. So it alerts me that I might want to pay some attention to this before it gets bad. I don't want to wait until it turns yellow or red. If you're involved with public health or community health improvement, you know prevention is usually easier and less expensive than waiting until things get real bad. So this combination of the color and then the direction it's moving and for how many consecutive periods is really a useful early warning. And some people think of this arrow and number combination as sort of like a winning streak or a losing streak that you might see in baseball scores if you look at the sports page in the newspaper. We also can see the polarity, what they call whether going up is good or going up is bad. So the percent of children within normal weight, that's gone up for 4 consecutive periods, and that's a good direction. Whereas the infant mortality rate has gone down, and therefore both of these are green. Going down is good for infant mortality, and it's gone down for 3 consecutive years. So this is a very valuable feature, even if you don't know is 488 good or bad. By looking at the colors, the numbers, and the arrows, you get a real good sense of that. So we also can look at the trend chart simply by hovering over this little chart icon. It gives us the more detailed trend chart that just pops up. So I can say, oh, wow, it's been gone down and it finally got green. That's where it went below the target. And it only takes just a fraction of a second to hover over and see that.